Hello. Um, let's see here. Sorry, I was double checking my stuff, but we are starting today to finish up what we started last week. We're going to be painting our little snake oil salesman guy that we created last week. I was very happy with his expression, but I went ahead and did the black base coat. Um, I am going to stick with my original plan, which was I was going to make him a coral snake. So we're going to do that. So I'm going to do that color pattern. But yeah, and I also finished. I did the bottle so it's going to have the liquid angled like it's supposed to be. And I did the label. I designed this on my art tablet, printed it out, and then I kind of messed up the label a bit here. Let me see if I can show you the colors a little better. There we go. There you can see what we did. So the original guy was Clark Stanley, so I just inverted the first letters because I thought it sounded funny. But I changed the color and drew that. It's very much like the actual label that Clark Stanley used. I just replaced it with my little character, and I did pencil brush to do kind of that. I guess it's a linotype print or something. I'm not sure. It's some sort of print type that they used to do labels like that in. So I mimicked that and then used the little side letters, which are unreadable, but I used that from the original label. And then the middle piece, I just try to copy the design, but with my own little character. So that's his little bottle he's going to be holding. Excuse me. As you can probably tell, I got a new microphone. I got a Blue Yeti, which I noticed seemed to be the most reasonably priced one that everybody liked, and I found a refurbished one for cheaper, so hopefully it will do well. I was testing it out earlier, and it seemed to be a world of difference from the microphone I had before, so I don't absolutely hate my voice like I did from the other videos. So hopefully it'll be much nicer to listen to the videos, and I'll be doing more voiceover stuff for the edited videos as well. Although I don't know if I'll do that for this one. I might just do a audio background. But we're going to go ahead and start doing the stripes on our little snake guy here. Excuse me. If I can get the bottle open. Okay. All right. I had to pull up my reference photo here. Here we go. So we need to have yellow roughly here. Yeah, I'll be curious to see. I didn't change the filters yet, or I didn't change any of the microphone settings yet. So I'll be curious to see how things like the brush sounds pick up. I might play with it a little bit to see, because I kind of like the brush sounds, but I also don't want any of the other sounds in the background. So I'll have to see what I can do. I did find I can leave my AC on if I need to, but I did not for now because it does mess a little bit with some of the quieter noises. It makes it kind of go staticky, but it doesn't do it with my voice like the other one did. So I still have to do the settings, and I still have to figure out the filters. I played with it and did a little research, but I haven't put them on yet because I didn't have time this week, unfortunately. And in case you're wondering, I cut my finger, that's why I have a band-aid on it. I was trying to separate my little plastic paint containers that I have, these little things. Didn't have scissors available, so I just grabbed a utility knife and promptly stabbed it directly into the side of my hand. So I'm not always the smartest person. So yeah, I have a band-aid on the side of my hand. I'm probably gonna take it off here, not too far from now. Because it wasn't really bleeding that much, but it did hurt. Alright, so that's where the yellow band goes. Obviously we're gonna make it brighter and brighter and brighter. I actually think I might need some orange in this because it's a very orangey yellow. So this is not the orange I want. Where is that the orange I want? Maybe that is the orange I want. Never mind. That is the orange. I was refilling all of my little paint cups here so that I have portable paint things. And yeah, he does still have his hat. I don't know if you can see it here. It came off, and I took advantage of that, and we'll leave it off until we finish painting everything. Makes it a little easier to paint stuff with it off. Okay. So I think we're going to go ahead and just do a light banding pattern with all of the spots that we have to do. Alright, so it's black, yellow, black, then it's a yellow streak, and then red. So we're going to do another yellow spot here, thin yellow streak. And then it's red. Should be red. And I think I'm going to do the vest a white with a striped blue because that's a very mild color but a very bright one, so it'll contrast to these. And I saw a lot of pictures of guys wearing that pattern color. So, alright, let me grab another brush and we'll start doing the red. And it's okay if we get a little bit on the jacket. I will fix that later. There we go. Let's put a bit here. So then we're assuming that that other stripe, see, we're just kind of establishing the boundaries for each of the color patches right now. So that's going to be black, yellow, yellow, red, yellow. So we'll do yellow coming out the base here. The base of this jacket here. And then we'll have a patch of black. I guess we should do a tiny bit of red right there, because the yellow patches are quite thin, other than the one on the head. So, like that. And the rest of this is yellow. So yellow base here. And then we'll leave this section black. And then we'll do, I think, another yellow here. There we go. And then we'll do red. Until about here. And again, these colors are going to be way more vibrant. We're just doing this for now so that we can kind of block off the sections that we're painting and what colors we're painting them. Just so that I don't have to keep remembering this snake pattern color. I always thought these were really pretty snakes. I mean, they're highly poisonous, but I've never lived anywhere close enough for these to be around, or if they were highly uncommon. I think they're further south. I think they're in the Carolinas. I could be wrong. So I've never lived far enough south to see these. But I had to memorize the red on yellow kill a fellow thing in school. I was homeschooled, but we used a curriculum, and I think the curriculum was based out of Florida, so I assume they're in Florida as well. I haven't actually looked at how far the coral snake exists and what. I was about to say biomes, but that's not quite the word I was looking for. I don't know the exact regional living area and like migration pattern of migration. Snakes don't migrate. I don't know the exact regions they live in. Let's put it that way. There is another word for that. Distribution's also not quite what I was thinking. There's another word for it and I can't think of what it is. So we're getting our very basic color pattern here going. So this is the yellow band, which means we have a black section, and then we'll have another yellow band right here. And mix it with a little bit of the orange here. All right. Now we're going to do another section of red. Till about here. That way, once we establish this, I can go over and just focus on one color at a time, and I'll know exactly where those colors are going. So I can work on all the red patches or all the yellow sections all at once. And the black sections I will highlight a bit with some white or some gray. Because I want to show off, I did do some texturing when I was sculpting this. So we want that to be visible, but not too visible because the black is pretty dark on these snakes. So I don't want it to be too visible, but I want to have a little bit of highlighting and texture. Okay. All right. So now we need the yellow again. All right. Okay, looks like the end of the tail just goes into yellow and black patches. So I should probably start that about here. So we'll make this yellow section a little bigger. All right. And then we'll do black, and then we'll have a thicker yellow section. Well, maybe not. Maybe I should stick one more, let's see, one more red patch, and then, okay, yeah, we might do one more red patch then. So we'll do a yellow here, and we'll just make it smaller, and then we'll go into this, the black and yellow. Yeah, we'll do this real quick. We'll do one last red patch right here. We'll just make it small, and then the rest of this will just be black and yellow. And I can fix the width of that yellow patch there, because that's not supposed to be quite that wide. Alright. Alright. I should probably do another patch here. It's a little wider. Make this one a little bigger. All right, and then we'll do a tiny little yellow patch here. There we go. All right. So now we have the very simple base. We just need to make it much brighter. So we'll keep going with the yellow for now. Because it's a really bright yellow. There we go. We're getting closer to the color that I want. We'll keep working our way down here. We'll do the clothing last so that if there's any yellow or red or black that gets on them, we can fix it pretty easy. All right. There we go. All right. Okay. Alright, so we got the yellow a lot brighter. The red's probably going to take a lot longer. Granted, we still need to get the yellow brighter than this, but it's closer to the color we're going for. Alright. Alright, so let's put the yellow aside for a bit. Let's move to our red. Start making the red a little bit brighter. Okay. I guess I could just put the red right here. I put plastic wrap down. I usually either wax paper or plastic wrap over my little silicone thing here, just because I don't want it to get too dirty. It does clean pretty easily, but it is a pain to clean sometimes. You get too much paint on it, so. Alright. I am trying my best to do better at holding the thing always in view of the screen. I know when I get really focused, I tend to forget that I am videoing, and I start pulling it toward myself and not holding it where the camera can view it. But I'm trying to not do that too much, because that defeats the purpose of having the video. Alright. This one's a little bit harder because it's around the collar of his shirt. And I can see I have broken the little rope piece again. But that's fine. We can fix that. And it's okay if we get it on collar. The paint on the collar, that is. I will be touching that up later. So yep, we're getting closer to the color scheme that I want. Now I think we're going to take a break from this for a second, and we're going to do some light dry brushing with, I don't have gray, but I do have white. That'll be fine. Just do some light dry brushing. Just to add some highlights. Tongue is loose again. I'm gonna have to fix that. All right. And let me do something here real quick. Gonna shine this on here real quick. This will keep it from breaking any further. But yeah, I think we're doing pretty good. I do like the coral snake pattern. It just needs to be a lot brighter than it is. Just leave this on here for a few minutes. Just trying to fix what we broke by mistake. We'll leave this on here for a few minutes. Just enough so it's not falling apart while I'm trying to paint it. A little bit longer. And I will fix this more effectively later. I just want enough so that it's not having issues. Alright, let's do another layer of yellow. Make it even brighter. Here we go. Oh. Sorry if I'm a little sniffly and congested sounding today, because I guess I have allergies. I always think that I don't, but I guess I do. It's been nonstop for like the past week, but I'm definitely not sick. So I don't know what's happening. I'm allergic to something. Eh, there we go. There we go. I think I'm getting much closer to the color that I need. Alright. And to get the pigment right, I may have to do more of that orange tone and then go over it with a yellow again. But I do need to, we'll see if I'm gonna have time to do that. But I do need to get back to the red here. Alright, so we have a much, I didn't mean to get that there. A much brighter yellow. Alright. Almost there. Almost. This red just isn't quite bright enough. It looks better on the camera than it does in real life right now. It looks brighter on the camera. Now I may have to turn the AC back on because it's pretty hot today. So that may mess with the noise a little bit. We'll see. I'll try not to. It is getting uncomfortably hot in this room. And I don't feel so good when I get overheated, so we'll see. We shall see. Alright. Well, let me think. We could, I guess I should have gone ahead and done some... Actually, what color are snakes' tongues? I feel like they should be a pinkish color, but I'm not sure. Let me actually look. They are not. Sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't. Snake tongue. Oh, the coral snake tongue is... It is reddish pink. Okay, so we can do that. So we'll go ahead and do... So reddish pink that goes into like a dark black, so... We'll do this and we'll go over it again with like a pink color. and let it fade into the black at the end. And the tongue's still a little loose. Like I said, I'll fix that better. I just don't want to wait for too long to get the resin to cure. That'll hold that in place. Alright, I can go ahead and do the fangs. Let me look at those. Well, its fangs are actually quite little. Quite tiny. And this guy's unrealistically large, but that's fine. It's no fun if you can't see them. For the sculpture, at least. And then the inside of the mouth needs to be this peach color here. Peachish pink color. I'll do what I can. I'm not going to be able to get this perfectly in there, but at least we have some vague accuracy for the little bit of the interior of the mouth that you can see. So the only thing about stuff like this is it's really hard to paint the inside of the mouth. And yet I keep doing figurines and stuff that have their mouths halfway open. Okay. Don't need to make it too bright, because if you think about it, the shadows would make it look darker anyway. Just enough. There we go. And we'll touch it up later. There we go. So we got more details now. Now, let's see. I think what we're gonna do... I want to paint this interior vest a white color. Thinking white with blue stripes. I'm going to pull up my reference photo here, but I'm pretty sure I saw one with that and I really liked it. So we're probably going to go that route. White with blue. Okay. There we go. There, so we're getting the vest coat in there. I don't think anybody's going to turn the figurine upside down, but I'm going to try to paint a little bit of the underside of the vest that you can see from here. Ain't much, but just a little bit. Just a little so it's accurate. Alright, let me pull up my reference photo here. Yeah, because the ones I'd seen, they all have like these light colored vests. Not all of them, but a lot of them do. And I think I want to do that kind of light colored vest with the striping. Alright, let's see. Now I have to think about how these stripes would look. Because the top of the fabric would be here, but it's kind of pulled into the button. So it's going to be like this. And this blue is not dark enough, so I will work with a darker blue here in a second. Okay. Let me grab a darker blue. Alright. There, he's got stripes on his little coat now. His little vest. Go ahead and do a dark blue button. And then let me think. Could give him a light brown coat. I think that might look nice. With metallic buttons for the outer coat. And we'll give him a light little blue handkerchief, pocket chief. Handkerchief, that's the word. That was the correct word. Okay. Alright, so let's start and go ahead and give him a dark brown coat. And it looks like having the collar darker than the main part of the coat is the design that I'm seeing here. I just looked up, stereotypical portrayals of salesmen, snake oil salesmen from that time period. And I'm just using that for inspiration on the clothing and such. But it looks like it has a dark, this part is dark, and then the rest of it is a lighter brown. So we're gonna go for that. Alright. Alright. And then, let's see, where did I thought I had a darker brown. But this is not the darker brown that I thought I had. Did I not? Because I had a really dark brown that was almost black. But none of these are that color. Oh well, I can mix it with the black and make it that color. I was refilling, like I said, I was refilling all my paints, and I think I may have mixed up some in the process, or left it on the little shelf downstairs. My mistake. That's okay. We can make a dark brown color here. Alright. And then we'll make the coat color lighter too. We'll do some highlights and such on it. But we'll do this as a very, very dark brown. Alright. Then we're going to use our lighter brown here in a second. I want to go ahead and also touch up the button on the coat here. There we go. And I think I want to touch the white up a little bit, make it a little bit neater. That'll give the coat a little time to dry and it'll let me neaten up these stripes just a little bit. There we go. Neatened up the coat a little bit. That looks a little better. Now we're going to take another brush here and we're going to do some light brown patches here. A little too much. All right. Blend this out a bit. Like I said, we're going to do these little buttons probably a copper or a gold, I'm thinking, would be a nice color. Probably a gold. I think that would complement it well. Let's do the center here. So we're adding shading a bit. Whoops, I did not mean to stick that in. Dang it. Different brush. There we go. Now let's grab one of our metallic paints here. Gold. And we will go ahead and get the buttons here painted. Here you can see gold buttons. And I think, I'm trying to think of what I should color. I could just do the rope a brown, I suppose. Just a light brown. There we go. I'm not sure what color I should do the hat. I know standard top hat's like black, but I almost wonder if I should do a brown to kind of match this. Okay. A little bit of a stick branch here. Sorry, I can't paint this part without being close to it. And then I can do the little leaf. Alright. Grab my green colors here. So we can paint our little poison corsage. Alright, now let's paint the details on the leaves just a little bit. There you go. So he's got a little leaf in his pocket now. Alright, so I think we'll let this dry for a little bit, and I think we're going to pull the top hat over here. And I am thinking the brown, probably. I think we will go for the brown. With a blue band. That seems like a good idea to me. So we're going to give him brown top hat with the blue band. And then when we finish, I will put it back on his head properly. I don't know if I'll do it on the video necessarily, but I will show you what it looks like with him finished completely. Because yeah, I didn't attach the hat too hard, and sometimes I do that intentionally, just so that when I go to paint, I can just pull the hat off and have the freedom to paint it like this, which is considerably easier than trying to paint it while it's attached to his head. It's a lot less paint getting on things it's not supposed to. It is very hot in this room. I want to turn my AC back on. I need to get a quieter AC unit. Also, mine is kind of dying sometimes, so... Still works decently well, so I ain't getting rid of it yet. So it would be a waste of money. Alright, now we're going to do some lighter touches. Blend in the lighter brown here in the middle. Just a little bit. Alright. And then we'll go ahead and do the little blue band that we're going to do. We'll do the light blue, and then I think we'll do the dark blue in the middle, kind of like we did the stripes on the outfit. So, we'll do this. Grab some of the brown paint off here. The only thing I didn't do that I probably should have done is like the little, it's not a bow tie exactly, but it's like a little necktie. I know I think I talked about it while I was sculpting it. I didn't do it. Totally forgot. Alright. We'll touch up the brown here in a second, and then we'll go over it again with the blue. There we go. Here's the base of it. We're getting close here. We're going to let that dry for a bit. Alright, so I think what we're going to do now is we're going to do another touch up of the red colors. And I'm going to get myself some new brushes. Grab some good brushes. I'm going to go over the red color one more time on the snake's body, just because I really do want it to be a brighter color than it is right now. It looks decent on the camera, but it is a little bit darker than that in real life. So I want to highlight it a bit more. And then, whoops, I forgot I have red paint on this. Alright, got that a little better. Alright, and then let me touch up the yellow that I just muffed up. Okay. Let's do the tongue again. Oop, I didn't mean to. I disconnected the tongue again. At least it's easy enough to fix. But that's fine. I'll put it back. So this is what we have so far. Oh, that's right. We were going to paint his little pocket napkin. Let me grab my dark blue here. And then we'll go over that again with the light blue in a second. But for now, I want to go back to our hat now that it's dried a little bit. And just want to add a little extra color to the hat band. Alright. I also want to do some more lighter colors on the hat. Some lighter browns again. Kind of blend it in here. Sorry, I know I pulled the hat out of frame. There we go. I just wanted to add some shading to the hat. Alright, I'm gonna be finishing up here in a second. It is getting so hot in this room. I need to turn the AC back on. Okay. I think, was there, yes, I need to do the light blue on the pocket handkerchief. There we go, that way we have some shading. But the hat will go how I had it on his head. Alright. Let's put all of this, assemble it together so you can kind of see what it looks like. Oh, I have that. I think I had the hat like that. So there we go. We have our snake oil salesman. I think he looks pretty good. Sorry if I keep pausing mid-sentence. I'm very tired today. I'm easily distracted. But I will attach this hat properly. But I think it looks pretty good. I can show you the label again on the bottle. And then we can see his jacket, his little handkerchief, his face. But yeah, I think our snake oil salesman is complete. If you watch this video, I do greatly appreciate it. I will be doing the edited version of this. I may or may not do a voiceover for it. I'm not sure yet. But I am very happy that I have the new microphone. So hopefully that made the video a little bit more pleasant rather than the audio I've had on the prior ones. But if you watch this, I greatly appreciate it, and I wish you a very good night. I will be working on some other stuff. Hopefully I will have the edited video out soon. But have a good night, and thank you for watching.